You think that you have different problems, but you don't. Normally what's happening is you have a core pattern that is showing up in different areas of your life, different situations, different people. But it's setting off the same internal response. And because it looks different every time, you don't realize that it's actually the same thing driving all of the issues that's going on in your life. If you're new to this channel, I'm Morrice, the Chakra Coach. For over 25 years, I have been reading energetic patterns, not just in behavior and mindset, but in the underlying systems that create these. Most people try to change what it is they can see. I work at the level that is actually driving everything. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what an energetic pattern is, why it keeps repeating, and how you can start to recognize these patterns yourself. This is exactly why so many people feel stuck in life. Because they're constantly trying to fix issues that look like separate things. The relationships feel off. Maybe work is frustrating. And the only habits that seem to stick, unfortunately, are the ones that you are desperate to escape. So you treat all of these different things like different problems. You try to fix each of them individually, but nothing ever fully changes, and you're left wondering why. Well, that's because you're not actually dealing with multiple separate problems. You're dealing with core patterns that are repeating and showing up in different forms. And until that clicks, well, you'll keep going round in circles, repeating and looping in the same way. Most people think that a pattern is a habit. It's not. A pattern is a loop. It starts with an emotional imprint, an internal impression that has formed because we have experienced an emotional alarm, such as fear, unworthiness, guilt, shame, doubt. This creates a form of adaptation within us that our system learned. And it learned this adaptation at some point in order for us to feel safe. That imprint gets triggered in the body. The body reacts first, not your logic, not your mind. It sets off an intense emotional sensation. That reaction then shapes how we begin to think in the moment. And those thoughts and the quality of those said thoughts, that's what then drives our behavior. Then our behavior begins to reinforce that same emotional alarm. So the loop closes, solidifying the pattern. It's solidified it in our subconscious mind, in our belief system, and then it repeats. Not because you're choosing it, but because you haven't seen the pattern clearly enough to identify it and then to interrupt it. Let's make this real with examples. Let's take a pattern driven by fear. Not obvious fear, but the kind that quietly runs underneath your decisions. In one environment, that fear looks like this. Let's take work, for example. You don't speak up when you could or when you should. So you hold back your opinion for fear of judgment. You avoid confrontation. You tell yourself, it's just not worth it. I'm just going to keep the peace. So that's one mask of a fear condition, the silent version of fear. Now let's take that same person and put them in a different environment. Now let's put them at home. Here, they're more reactive. At home, they're more controlling. They hold higher expectations, and when these expectations aren't met, they get frustrated quickly. Now that pattern looks like anger, but it's not. It's the same fear pattern. It's just expressing itself differently because of the different environments. And that second fear mask, that's the controlling version of fear. Now here's where it gets even more important. Because these two behaviors, because they look completely different, you don't connect them. So you try to fix them separately. Why is it that I'm so quiet at work? Why do I get so triggered at home? Two different questions, but they both have the same root answer, the same pattern, but different masks. Let's take another example, another emotional driver. Let's look at unworthiness. Now, this is one of the most common patterns, especially in women. Now, in relationships, it can look like this. You overgive. You people please. You accept less respect than you should. And you tell yourself, it's just because I care a lot. I don't want to lose them. I don't mind going over and above. But then in work or business, you undercharge. You hesitate to go all in. You don't fully back yourself. You hold back from visibility. You second guess your decisions. Again, these are two completely different situations, but they are both being driven by the same emotional alarm. You're not actually responding to the situation. You're responding to a conditioned pattern. And this is where most people get stuck. Because you are aware. You can see the patterns. Often you can name them. You might even predict them. But they're still happening. The pattern is still repeating because without awareness, without understanding, nothing actually changes the loop. You're noticing it, but not actually seeing how that loop was created. And you can't rewrite something that you can't read or understand. This is the difference in how I work. I don't just help you identify patterns. I show you how to understand what's actually creating them. I can show you how and why these patterns were seeded in the first place. Using the chakra system, the body's original blueprint of energetic architecture, our internal map that helps us connect the different areas of life with all aspects of our being. It's the tool to join the dots between physical emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies. And this system is the basis for our energetic alignment. Because once you can see the loop clearly, you can stop reacting unconsciously and learn to choose a conscious, aligned response that supports your growth, your evolution, and living in alignment with your purpose. So if you're looking at your life right now thinking, why does this thing that I do not want keep happening? Well, this is why. You, like us all, have subconscious patterns born out of conditioning that was simply never yours to carry, and it's operating on autopilot. Patterns wear different masks, and they're running the show with your growth and your results, with your success and with your happiness. If you would like to start seeing your own patterns clearly, then I've popped a couple of links for you below in the description. The first is my Chakra Diagnostic, which will show you exactly which one of your 3 lower chakras are dominating the negative pattern. And the second is a short awareness reset meditation. Now, this helps you to begin interrupting the loop in real time. It's created to give you an awareness of your awareness. Start there. I'm Laura Morrice, known as the Chakra Coach. I work with the body's energetic architecture to reveal the patterns that most people can't see. If this video has given you a different way of understanding and looking at yourself and your energetic alignment, then please like this video and subscribe to the channel, because this is the level of work that you can expect to find here. I'll see you all in the next video.